Welcome back to the Butt Chug Podcast, everyone. This is episode 95. 95, we're halfway there.
Halfway to the magic
We
place.
decided 95 episodes ago that we were only going to do 190 episodes.
Does that math check out?
And math checks out. 95, 180, plus 10, 190.
Yep, that works out.
There was a thing on that reminded me, there was a thing on Facebook someone put, like, when you see this equation, how do you do it in your head?
Yeah.
And, you know, it was like, I don't even know, 28 plus, like, 32 or something. And people were giving, like, these different ways that they do the math. Like, some people were like, I do 20 plus 30, and then I do 2 plus 8, and then I add those together. You've just got insight on how I do math in public.
Did you see the video today? It was on the front page of Reddit, because I don't go to, like, subs or streams or whatever they call them on Reddit. I just read the front page. Did you see, like, how the French count? So, like, 90, when you're going with 90 and the joke, it's like, it's 20 times 4, like, they're, like, we say 90. We say 91.
We say 90.
Theirs is 20 times 4 plus 10 is, like, how their numbers.
So when they're, like, 89,
when they're counting
88, 89...
20
plus 4 times
yeah,
4
but they do that for like 60.
For all of them.
Yeah, they do it for 70, and then
that would take an enormous amount of time.
So by the time you get to 93, for example, it's 4 numbers. So it's 20 times 4 plus 10 plus 3. And there's no order of operations, but if you listen, it was a fascinating video because it was from the viewpoint, the individual telling the story was a New York City taxi cab driver. So already... And a young guy, like, could be a peer, could sit at the table here in the church room bar and have a pint with us, and just, you know, pontificate on what what pisses him off. And I watched all 3 minutes of it because they were going through all the numbers, like 1 through 16 makes all the sense.
That sounds crazy.
And then after that, it doesn't make sense.
Because someone did. This is another article I read, and I don't have any clue where I could find this. I'll Google.
Those are the best. Those are the best articles.
They are. It might have been back in the magazine days. Like when magazine,
like
we
when
read
you're
magazines,
through?
like when you're physically reading a magazine. Because I used to read like Men's Health and stuff.
Yeah.
And somebody did the math on if you counted every number to 1,000,000, like how long it would take.
33 years, right?
Yeah, but it was compressed because it was the instant you stop saying 1, you start 2, like 1, 2, like, and it goes. It was some algorithm, and when you get to the hundreds of thousands, like it almost takes a full second to say. Each number. And so it was just like exponentially greater of the amount of time. And yeah, it was like 30 years. 33 I think is the, like, if you just like say each number in a interval, like a time interval.
Like you had your own cadence.
Yeah, you had cadence,
and
the amount of digits didn't affect how long in between each number.
Jeez.
But someone else did it where it's like 999,999. It just takes so long to say that you're wasting time, basically. You're wasting time if you count to 1,000,000, let's be honest.
One thing you're not doing if you're wasting time is listening to the BCP.
That's right. And if you do count to 1,000,000, put us on in the background. We'll help you with your cadence.
We will definitely help you get to the first probably 62,000.
Well, we'll at least get you to the first 95.
Right, but if they're listening to us in the background.
Yeah, we'll get you through. Yeah, that's an interesting question. How long can we get you? It's more than 65,000. We're talking about over 100 hours of content here. Yeah,
but it depends how you count. You got to sleep and stuff too. I don't know.
You'll probably also lose track because you'll laugh so hard.
There's definitely a couple of them.
There's a couple of them.
There's a real good belly laugh on episode 34, and you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly.
Exactly.
Episode 34.
I'm not going to say. I have no clue.
No, I have the exact clue.
JT, for this week in beer, it was a big week.
Oh, before we get started, I want to make sure everyone knows no one's going to come through the curtain or down the hall. This is a Cobra Light episode.
Cobra Light, Cobra Light episode. As you notice,
as you see,
the chair is empty.
The chair is empty. Oh, it's like a ghost.
Yeah, woo! The magic of movie cinema there. Yeah. So, beer news. JT, have you seen what's on the cusp of coming out?
I have, and I don't want to ruin it.
Busch Light Apple.
Busch Light Apple.
So,
I'm excited.
I want you, right now, live for the camera. We didn't produce this.
Live for the camera.
Hold your tongue and say Busch Apple while holding your tongue.
This is going to be funny?
Yep.
Bush apple.
Is that something you would drink?
Oh, yeah.
A bushy asshole?
Hey, if it comes in a Bush Light can, I'll drink it.
My favorite game, and that was like a 5th grade thing that we did back in the day, was like I was born on a pirate ship.
Yeah.
I was born on a pirate ship.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I like that.
What was the other one? Like, I liked my mom's hairy purse. I like my mom's hairy purse.
There you go.
So, just random things. So,
saying you like your mom's hairy purse isn't much better.
No, it's not. But, this was elementary school.
Yeah.
Misspent youth, if you will.
Yeah, misspent youth. I'm excited. It's not a cider.
It is not a cider.
It's a beer.
But stay tuned.
Stay tuned
for other
if
drinks
we can
coming
get
up
this.
here.
I think it's coming to our zip.
Yep. So we were checking. It's not going to be widely distributed. I like that they're diversifying a little bit.
Yeah.
They're not going the way of seltzers,
nope.
but they're diversifying their flavor profile. And apple is something that isn't too egregious. It's not one way. Or it's not lemon, and it's not passion fruit.
Yeah.
It's in the middle.
Well, I think lemon and passion fruit are more common in beer. Apple, you don't see as often.
Well, you have like Red's apple. That's what I'm thinking. Like
that's an ale, though.
Apple beer. Yeah. So pills, lagers, and ales.
Like you see lemon in like a shandy. What was the other fruit you mentioned?
Passion fruit.
Passion fruit would be something probably in an IPA.
We see these more in ours, but I'm saying like the middle of the road.
The middle of the road light beers.
Road hoers.
So you got
like Red's apple.
Bud Light orange. Bud Light lime.
Gross.
Bud Light poop.
Yeah.
All of it.
Just poop. Poop light.
Let's hope. That's the thing is Bush probably was like, let's see how this Bud Light stuff does. Same company, right? Let's see how that does. And we will not waste good beer on that shit.
Yeah.
And we'll go with one we know will succeed and people won't make fun of.
Yeah, I just definitely think that this is a diversification of efforts, and I'm actually looking forward to it. No jokes aside.
Oh yeah, no, I am. Too.
I am definitely.
I want to see how they
it.
do it.
I know they're a silent, unsilent sponsor of the show.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
Unsilent.
So transitioning to our second story, California now has shut down all their breweries and bars
again.
But not production. So, like, if you work at Russian River or something like that, please continue working. The world needs Pliny now more than ever. But it's more their front end and inside sales. Okay. There's a huge caveat there. Alcohol can be sold if you have outdoor seating and there is food on the same transaction. But the food has to be like a meal. Like you can't just
can't just sell peanuts or something.
You can't just sell peanuts for like $1 transaction or whatever.
Damn, that's harsh,
and that's
man.
per transaction.
Oh, per transaction.
Yeah. So
is there a limit on how many beers you can order?
Well, you would have to order a meal. So
let's say I order a cheeseburger and fries and I order 10 beers. You think that's reasonable?
I think, well, then your beers are going to get warm and you're going to have a terrible time.
Well,
how I would do it is if 4 of us went out.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I would order 4.
It's me and a couple other people, and we get 2 beers each. Like one cheeseburger and 8 beers.
Yeah, I think they're trying to limit the people that will sit there, have one food. You know, it's like that individual that goes to the bar, whatever, pays like the cover fee to watch the UFC. Because I'm looking at all the tap out affliction dudes.
Oh yeah, the Marines.
That my wife would have to deal with back when she was in the service industry. And would come in and would just order ice water.
Oh, God.
So they would pay the cover charge, the $5. But
that's why the cover charge is there.
That's to... so that is because the UFC and pay-per-view arena were charging per seat. So, like,
you had they charge restaurants more than they charge
$1,300 for an event.
Yeah, so, I get that. But it's not illegal to require purchases.
Yeah.
So that's on them, even though I do feel for the wait staff.
Because that doesn't get
tipped and stuff.
That's a dead table.
But it's on the restaurant to make that rule.
Because that Joe Blow is coming in and they're a single and they're taking like a 4-topper.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there just drinking ice water.
Just drinking ice water by themselves.
And they're satisfying whatever requirements.
Just go home.
So, I mean, if you just, at that point, smart up a little bit and pirate the stream or whatever.
Do that. Or movie theaters should really start offering pay-per-views. I don't
Some
understand
do.
why they don't.
Some do. I think that's going to be a business plan.
They do concerts.
Movie theaters are so struggling right now.
Well, who want you? So why is a movie all you get to see?
Well, they also do like special events, like you said, concerts.
Yeah, they'll do concerts. I've seen them do like Star Wars re-releases and stuff, or re-airs, whatever they call it.
It's smart because they're not.
It's very smart, but do pay-per-views, UFC fights. You could fill that place.
Yeah, Dora the Explorer is not going to sell tickets at 9:00 at night.
Yeah, right. People can cheer. People can drink because they sell beer now.
That was a smart pivot for them to get butts in the seats.
Real smart pivot. Anyway, not to derail that too much.
No. I mean, this is why we're here, JT.
How did we start this conversation?
Beer news.
Yeah, what was the topic? That second topic.
California shut down.
Yes, California shut down.
So, and that's in response for all the mole people out there that are listening for the coronavirus version 19.
Do you think that this year, when we talk to the mole people, they're in 2030. When you look back on 2020. Will this year be like a notorious year? You know how you can remember like 1945. 100%. That was when the war ended. You can remember 1865. That was the year the war ended. Do you think that we'll remember 2020 as like a significant year?
Yeah.
Okay. I think so too.
I don't know if it's going to be one of those things. Do you remember where you were?
No, it's not where you were because
I was on a cruise that got.
That's true. You have a significant story, but it's not like 9/11.
Yeah, it's not like 9/11.
It's 3-4 months already of this.
Right.
But this year has been pretty pronounced as a different year than
the only time like the memes and all the internet keyboard warrior pundits are like, oh, can we just skip this year, is when there's like famous people that die.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But now it's we've had a culmination of events.
Yeah.
That people are like, let's just hit reset and hit 2021.
Yeah, let's just go to 20. But it won't help any.
Ironically, that's right around the time when the election will be done, and then hopefully there's a vaccine, knock on wood, or at least a multitude of, better standoff procedures or whatever. But
true. I'm
not a doctor or a soothsayer. I just pretend to be one on the podcast.
That's true. Dr. Matt.
Topic. Wow, excuse me.
Beerology.
Number 3. There is a beer that we've had on the podcast that is going into hibernation. They're not going to make it anymore. Do you know this beer? Did you see this story?
I have not seen this story, but I'm going to guess we've had it on the podcast as a review.
We have reviewed it on the podcast.
We've reviewed it on the podcast? Boy. Well, it would have to be a beer that they make regularly.
I'll narrow it down for you. Mm-hmm. It's a beer we've had this year.
This year?
2020.
No clue.
St. Archer Gold is going into hibernation.
They just had like a bunch of Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah, $20 million in Super Bowls, and that wasn't even nationwide. They were market tests. So we got it here in the Dayton, Ohio market. Mm-hmm. So if you were outside the market, you got another. But yeah, St. Archer Gold, which we had, I definitely drank and enjoyed because it was the Mick Ultra substitute. Is going into hibernation. They're not retiring it. So if you like St. Archer Gold, stock up on it now because they're not pulling it from the shelves. They're going to sell it all out.
Who was this that made that?
So this is Michelob is Anheuser-Busch. So this is Miller Coors.
Miller Coors, okay.
So I was excited. Remember, it was a skateboarding commercial.
Yeah.
You talked about the commercial. Had a lot of SoCal characteristics to it.
Yeah, it did, yeah. I remember that.
I think, and again, the beer scores are over there on the recording device. I think it did well for a light beer.
Yeah.
It just didn't have a lot of inertia. It's tough to get in that market sect because those individuals that don't drink craft beer and drink light beer, they're set in their ways. I think we've talked about that many a time.
They're set in their ways, and it came in a box.
Yeah.
Which I think also was bad. Was a bad marketing ploy because it looked like craft beer. So those people who might have wanted another light beer,
right,
weren't going to buy it.
And this will go into our parlays into our next story. It came, if you remember, in a
Red Bull can.
Yeah, in a Red Bull can. Yeah. I'm glad you called it that. So, in the canning industry is booming right now. So this is a good piece of information for those of you looking to make a splash into the stock market. Ball Canning is going to be building another 3 canneries.
Wow.
To meet the demand. The ironic thing is 3 years ago they closed 3 canneries,
Well,
but it's not the same ones. They're not reopening. Because they're looking for a more economical solution to make these cans. So they will make the cans, and then they will also decorate them or whatever, made to order. There's 2 cans right now that there's a dearth, that there's a huge need for.
Okay.
You hit the one, which is the Red Bull can.
The Red Bull can.
Which is primarily why we care about it on this podcast. What is going to occupy that can? Not Red Bull, but...
what's
going into that Red Bull can, that thinner but taller 12-ounce can.
That is causing this lack of cans?
We've talked about it the last 12 to 6 months. 6 to 12 months.
We have talked about this
what's going to occupy.
Go into that
What's
can.
taking over the market? What's the market
White Claws and stuff.
Yeah. So seltzers. Seltzers are
I forgot about that already.
Going to start dominating again.
The canning. Yeah.
So they need to pivot because as soon as they make these cans, they're already being sold.
Yeah.
Like they're not sitting on stocks.
That's a great business to be in.
It's an amazing business to be in. And one of the neat facts about aluminum is over 80% of the aluminum produced ever is still being used today.
That's great.
So it's just recycling efforts.
The other 20 is probably lost in a landfill.
Yes, occupying somewhere in Siberia or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Do you know the second can, the second denomination, if you will, the second size?
A can that there's a lack of.
That this pivot in the market is going to answer.
Pints.
Pints is number 2. So craft beer is still doing well enough where there's still a demand, and there are craft brewers that are having to sit on beer while the pint.
It's not just craft beer. All energy drinks come in pints.
Exactly.
And they're starting to sell diet sodas, Coke Zero, Mountain Dew, in Mountain Dew Zero or whatever, in big pint cans.
People want that.
People want that bigger can. Yeah.
It's going to the Super Size Me, and
basically.
There's one thing that you said during that is the next segue, and we don't even pre-produce this show, people.
Wow, look at that.
Is guess who is joining, based on what you just said, guess who is likely, that's the quote, joining the seltzer arena?
Coke.
From what you just said. No, not Coke.
Pepsi. Well, Mountain Dew?
No.
I mean, that's Pepsi.
You're close. What's the only other one that you said?
Monster, exactly.
Monster Energy, which is by far the biggest.
Oh, yeah.
So, Red Bull really ushered this in about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Then
huge.
Monster and Rockstar were both there. But now Monster literally is the monster on the block when it comes to the energy drink market, having a massive share. They're likely to debut a seltzer in the next 6 to 12 months.
Alcohol or non-alcoholic?
Alcoholic seltzer.
Interesting for that.
That is awesome. So now, my question to you, and why I bring this up, are we going back to almost like a Four Loko? I know that's like a malt liquor
on this
for seltzer.
So we've done the caffeine. There was a Budweiser that was caffeinated a while back, and the Four Lokos were caffeinated.
Yeah.
I guess the prevailing school of thought on the caffeinated beverage thing was that there was the alcohol is kind of a depressant and caffeine's an upper, and you can't mix them. And people were getting messed up on these things, so they had to stop. People's hearts were stopping even.
What was the other? Spark.
Jaeger
Spark
bombs
was the big one.
Spark. I don't remember Spark.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember.
It was a
Spark.
silver. I'll look it up on the phone.
All right. If you show me the can, I might remember.
Man, Gut Rot City.
Oh, thanks. But I also wanted to mention there's a lot of more innovation in the canning industry than I actually ever thought there was. No, I never knew this until I worked with Ball People.
Oh yeah, the inner liner to retain
the inner liner thing. Holy shit! Do you know? I actually found this out today when I was looking up facts for the for segment 3. I wonder if I'm ruining anything by saying this, but do you know what year the first ever award? You know the big awards like that, like Miller puts on their. Oh, Sparks! Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah,
the plus sign and everything.
God. I miss Spark, but that was a gut.
I never had it.
You would shit sweet tarts. I don't know what it did, but it would just be little poops.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah,
little nuggets, little bird
we
poops.
called it sweet tart poops.
So you know those big beer awards that go on every year?
Great American.
It might be that one.
Yeah.
The first year they ever awarded an award, a blue ribbon, to a company that delivered their beer to the awards in a can.
Winter Ball?
No, do you know the year?
Oh, 87.
Take a guess. Way off. Well, the 7's right. 2007.
Wow.
That's how long it took for them to actually accept cans in the beer industry. And that was probably because that's when a lot of that innovation was happening. Corona and Sam Adams were refusing cans until there was an innovation, right, from Ball.
Yeah, so cans were notoriously... beers would skunk in the can.
Yeah.
So now whatever liner...
And they get, like, alkaline or whatever.
Yeah, the liner's proprietary.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But you can copy it or whatever. You know, I'm, again, not a scientist.
You can melt away the aluminum and get just the liner.
Yeah. I've
seen it on YouTube. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's like almost like a nail polish remover or whatever. And it's just like
it's pretty sweet.
It's transparent. It's almost like if you've ever seen Star Trek 3 and where they have transparent aluminum, Scotty gives it to them to... You know what I'm talking about, right? They need to build the whale enclosure, but they're limited on the size and the strength. So they, and this is when they go to San Francisco and they have to save whales because in the future...
Was it Star Trek?
Yeah, Star Trek 3.
I never saw it.
So anyways, yeah, Scotty gives the engineer the formula for transparent aluminum, and he goes, this is going to put us ahead years and years, but you're worried about the timeline continuum. And Scotty tells Chekhov... how do you know that this individual didn't eventually introduce it anyways? He wasn't the inventor.
Yeah.
Goes, so he just gave it to the guy like 10 years or 20 years in advance. But yeah, transparent aluminum.
Oh, well, that's... Yeah, I believe that... I used to not believe in time travel, but then they found in some dude's attic like an enormous amount of like old baseball cards.
Yeah.
Autographed by Babe Ruth and stuff. Like he never signed cards. No one got cards signed back in the 20s because it wasn't a thing. They were tobacco cards or Cracker Jack boxes.
Yeah.
But they found this insane collection of like really well preserved cards. And I used to think if I could go back in time, I would go and get all these tobacco cards that are worth $100,000 now and just put them somewhere where I can find them in current day when I travel back. Well, now I'm like, that's exactly what happened. How are these just hidden away for 100 years? Someone went back in time, collected a bunch of baseball cards, and now they're about to be millionaires.
It's one of my favorite things, the old people in time or in photos, old-timey photos, like people out of place. The people in the 30s walking around like this.
Yeah.
Why in the 30s would you be walking around like this?
That picture. Yeah.
Where they're kind of like freaky.
Yeah, they're weird.
Bit.
Yeah.
Or there's the one where there's action happening behind everyone and everyone's head is turned, but the one person is looking directly at the photographer.
Huh.
There's a gunshot or something.
That's crazy.
Going on. Yeah. This is sometimes where I miss doing the multimedia, so we could bring some of this up at the
we
same
could
time.
Slide it in. I mean, I have some good editing software, but it would take a while.
It'd take a while, and we heard the overtures asking for the podcast, so we try to get this out as fresh as possible because our podcast doesn't have the inner liner. That's proprietary.
Right. Proprietary. Well, we're gonna get this out today, Tuesday. So
yes,
you'll get it. Last week was a fluke. I was busy. But now I'm not busy.
You're always busy.
I'm not busy now today. I'm here. I'm alert. I have a lot of sleep. I got a lot of sleep last night.
Well, we're into our first beer for today. This is from Untitled Art in collaboration with J. Wakefield Brewing, which is out of Miami. I'll get to that in a second. So it's canned in Waunakee, Wisconsin, but it's in collaboration with a Florida brewer. We're going to go with the crack. 3, 2, 1. I had to prep that top. That was a...
We're basically an Untitled Art podcast now.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's not an insult to Matt for getting it. It's a compliment to Untitled Art for putting out so much good beer. Because that's all we do is we go to the store and try to find beer we want to share.
Right.
And this is like the 4th week in a row that we've shared either Untitled Art or Collective Arts or some art of some sort.
So I was excited for this beer. So I bought this beer again when I was back in Wisconsin. In the last few weeks, I've had visitors over to the house. And I just let them go in the fridge, and I'm like, keep off the podcast shelf. But they're looking through. Chuggalo Peter and my another buddy Mike were like, I want this Berliner Weiss. So this is a citrus spritzer Weiss.
Yep.
Out of, again, Untitled Art, but it's got J. Wakefield Brewing, and JT will get to more of that in the can art, why we know that, because this one actually delineates the partnership, and it does it in a really clever way. So we've talked about Untitled Art. You can find them, again, Wanakee, Wisconsin. But I want to go to jwakefieldbrewing.com. Do yourself a favor, pause the podcast, pause it on YouTube, type in jwakefieldbrewing.com. This is some of the most, 80s superhero Miami Vice avant-garde art. This is fantastic. I wish I could just find more of their artwork or their beer, because I'm sold. It's all like Laser Cats, where it's like aqua and pink, and you know exactly the motif I'm talking about.
Cats, that's awesome.
I definitely am down with it, so I got very, very excited, because I gave this beer to 2 other people. I told them, don't tell me about anything. This is going to be the next beer that I do on the podcast.
If you get a chance, if you like that kind of aesthetic to your entertainment, when my kids were little, they used to watch this show called Teen Titans Go.
Oh yeah,
I love Teen Titans Go. Great show. Another kids show made with adults in mind.
The Night Begins to Shine Part 2.
That's the one. The Night Begins to Shine.
BER.
Such a great episode. Such a great song. Oh man, so great. Love it.
And I was a Johnny Come Lately to that. So it was, we were just talking about that. It was 14 months ago that I discovered that song, and I told you about it, and you're like, oh yeah, it's fantastic.
I don't remember that conversation.
Well, the part 2 came out. I remember it because my wife was away. It was my first weekend alone with the kids.
Yeah.
My wife was at a bachelorette party. My youngest was asleep in bed, so I was letting the 3-year-old at the time, now 4-year-old, rule the roost.
Yeah. And
turned it on to Teen Titans, and we just became enthralled.
Oh yeah.
So this last weekend, my daughter was fighting a little bit of a cold, saying Teen Titans was running a marathon up to The Night Begins to Shine Part 2. Mm-hmm. And so she was just enthralled with that, which I like that better than otherwise she's into owlet, lizard, gecko.
I don't know what that is, but if you said Peppa Pig, I'd be like,
yeah, no, that and Blippi. That's what she watched.
Do they still have Yo Gabba Gabba around for kids?
Would never.
God, that show is amazing.
Or like Caillou and stuff.
Oh, not Caillou. Yo Gabba Gabba is not like that at all. Yo Gabba Gabba is a show with a DJ Lance, and they have special guests, which are all bands we know.
Yeah.
And it had like Jack Black on it, and it has like these goofy characters. It is awesome. Like, there's just some shows that your kids are going to watch that you're just like, hell yeah, I want to watch this show myself.
Crazy.
Yo Gabba Gabba was one of them.
Crazy. So the specs on this beer, it comes in a pint. It's 6%. Again, it's the Spritzer Weiss. There's also a citrus Spritzer Weiss, so there's 2 separate beers. I think the one they just introduced a lot of lemon into. But yeah, outside of that, GT, if you would kick it off with the can art.
I sure will.
Boner segment. Brought to you by, who is it? Did you bring it?
I did bring it.
Ooh.
But
so does she take over?
We're going to do it when all 3 of us are here.
Oh, okay.
So for now, still brought to you by Steve.
So Steve was 5 episodes ago. So Steve is the reigning 6 episodes, because I think it was either 89 or 90 that Steve was here.
Yeah. Steve is up in his game. He's building a bar.
He is.
I don't know if he wants us to share that, but he shared it with social media. So
yeah, put pictures of that, Steve, on the BCP Facebook page, please.
Okay, so boy, a lot of art going on here. This is the Can Art Boner segment brought to you by Steve. Here's your art. I'll spin it slowly, and there you go. All right, I don't know what to call this type of art. Again, I don't know all the names for art, but it's abstract. It's a lot of shapes. There looks to be like some sort of red fence on there, and some geometric shapes, some triangles, some lines. Have you ever seen the Sun logo? Sun Computers?
Yeah. Sun Microsystems?
Yeah, the 3-line thing that they got going on there is very... Oh, that's more of a Columbia Jackets type logo.
Yep.
Than that. But Sun had a really cool logo where it was like 3 lines,
Are you talking
2
like
lines, and then 3 lines. No, I'm talking about this up here.
Oh, yeah, down here. Okay.
Yeah, down there too, yeah.
It's like what you would see, because it's detailed, it's like a traction on non-slip pads.
Traction, yeah. But it's a very patterned thing, but there's also like a smoke monster from Lost, and there's some circles. And
there's circles on. Get out of here.
There's circles.
There's circles.
Some things you'll see in life. Some things in life you'll see, and you'll be like, there are no circles involved in this. But there's circles. I wish I could describe this better. But
you're doing an amazing job.
That's what I got. If you like art and you like modern artists, there's this thing that the company Topps is doing right now. Topps makes baseball cards and football, basketball, whatever. They're doing something called Project 2020 where 20 different artists are recreating 20 different famous baseball cards. And they're all these like street artists, and there's like a diamond artist, and there's like all these cool artists, and they're really cool cards. You should check them out if you like sports cards. Anyway, so Teresa Navajo is the artist. And I'm not exactly sure what her art typically looks like, but this is more of kind of like an abstract, kind of like think about it. Maybe this red fence is more of like a handrail that goes over. It's like for a bridge that goes over the water that's like got this red and blue. I don't know. I'm interpreting it my own way, and sometimes that's what the artist wants. Sometimes it's not. That's the Can Art Boner segment brought to you by Steve. Now, the artists definitely want to be featured on the Can Art Boner segment.
Yeah,
they work their lives to get their art on our. So Teresa Navajo, you're welcome. One thing I do like about this is the J. Wakefield Brewing logo is
I was hoping you would talk about that.
Pretty cool. I like it. It kind of reminds me of it's kind of like an oil lamp with a very like Arabic design. But like pipes, I don't even know, like organ pipes. It's like a whole thing. There's all kinds of stuff. But I think in the middle there's the barrel, the tank for distilling the beer or whatever the terms are. This is a terrible beer podcast. Yeah. But I do like the J. Wakefield Brewing logo. It's right over the Untitled Art logo. And now to the beer. If you gave this to me with no label at all and said, what do you taste? I would say this tastes to me like a watered down, extra carbonated sour. And that's what I would describe this as. And I think that it's right because it's a Spritzer Weiss. And, basically it tastes like a Berliner Weiss that's been watered down and extra carbonated, and there's no other flavor. I don't taste a fruit. Maybe I should, but I feel like this is basically a basic Berliner Weiss with no flavor, what it would taste like if you didn't add anything to it, and it's just been carbonated and watered down. But that doesn't mean it's bad. I actually like this. It feels light, and it feels kind of airy. It feels like I could drink a lot of these, and it's actually quite refreshing. And I'm not the type that likes the seltzer alcohols. They have too little flavor to me. I get why people drink them. They're supposed to be healthier, less calories, less carbs, but there's just like no flavor in them. I do like this one. It's got a little bit more flavor. I'm giving this is an easy drinkable Spritzer 4.0 butt cheeks.
Fantastic. I think JT and I align a lot on this. So off the top rope, I give this a 3.75. My comment on Untapped, again, if you want to follow me, is Digital Bather. Is a light and refreshing spritzer. You won't get crap for drinking with the boys. Mm-hmm. It comes in a pint, so you're obfuscating the obvious of drinking, as we mentioned earlier, like a 12-ounce thinner profiled can. So it's not filling. It's very refreshing. It's got that slight lactobacillus that you're typically craving if you're going after a sour. So it's not going to, like, if you want to pass it to a friend or a loved one, it's not going to be too unappealing. It's not like that warhead profile that I like going for. That's definitely something that I would want to get it closer to that 5. Definitely lemon or citrus. That's the only thing in there. There's not 17 other fruits. A little bit tart, but again, I agree with the overcarbonation, which is a spritzer, which is exactly what it says it is, and it's a Berliner Weiss, so you've got that slight sour tart fruit. So it's good in what it's trying to be. It just is missing some of the hallmarks of a better tasting beer by being bold in one of those areas that we just illustrated.
Yeah.
So again, off the top rope, 375. Again, JT surmised that you could drink a lot of these and not feel guilty at all.
Yep.
This is
Totally.
You're not going to have a glut. You're not going to have like if you drink like 7 IPAs or a couple of stouts or something like that. This is not going to leave you feeling guilty for carbing up.
I agree. Let me get my beer out after I check this one in. Just stall for a second.
No, not a problem. And the one thing that I would like to enumerate about the J. Wakefield Brewing, not chevron, but decal or brewery emblem, is, again, go to their website. This is, I implore you, I know I always list websites because I always want to give credit. Go to jwakefieldbrewing.com. Google them. Again, they're out of Florida. That iconology does not, or iconograph, does not match up with all of their amazing artwork. I hope that I can track down some of those beers, because just on artwork alone, I think JT would have an explosion of just things to talk about.
Explosion boner.
I would just an explosion boner. I would just walk away and listen to him illustrate the can art for your.
I also don't feel like this is a 6%.
Oh yeah, no.
We didn't mention that, but doesn't taste like it. Tastes like a 4%.
No. So tune back, fast forward about 45 minutes after JT's had 7 of these, and let's see if that rings true.
Yep. Well, I mean, I said it doesn't taste like. I didn't say it didn't feel like.
Hey guys, this is JT with the 7th can art segment.
All right. Next beer we have is also a brewery that we've covered several times, I believe. Ellicottville Brewing Company out of New York. I didn't even have to look at where they're from because that's how many times we've done it. Ellicottville.
I think twice.
Just twice?
I don't know. I mean, the list.
Ellicottville is
unknown.
a weird name. I feel like Ellicott, New York would be fine.
I always look at it and I just want to say Elliott.
Elliott, yeah.
The C really just breaks it up.
Yeah, the C.
Or Calico. Calico and Elliott.
Elliotttville. That would work. Well, this is Oops All Berries Kettle Sour. Ale brewed with...
Oh, I didn't know we were doing 2 sours. I apologize.
Oh, no, I didn't. I have other beer, but it's all submissions. User submissions. It's sorry, okay. JT. We're just a sour podcast now. Just at least we're not
I can't wait for the
At least we're not hopheads.
Put your again, email your
That wasn't
comments.
A sour. That was a Berliner Weiss. It's a pre-sour.
Email your comments to feedback at bcppodcast.net.
Email your feedback to Donald Trump on Twitter. He'll let you know what he thinks about beer. Or at Joe Biden, whichever one. You know, talk about the Butt Chug podcast. They'll get it. They both know. Ellicottville Brewing Company. Oops All Berries. Now, this is appealing because I just recently was watching this comedian on, Facebook's recommending all kinds of different videos to me when I scroll through, and most of the time I just pass by, but this one, I was like, I'll watch the stand-up comedian. And he was telling a joke about Captain Crunch and how there's 4 different kinds of Captain Crunch. And that apparently there's such an overabundance of berries, of crunch berries, which he went into this whole thing about what's a crunch berry. I'm not going to steal this guy's jokes. But he said there's such an overabundance of crunch berries in the world that they could accidentally make a cereal with just crunch berries and they passed it off as an accident. It was a funny joke at the time.
Wow.
You'll have to go back and look this guy up.
I feel like I was there.
He was a kid. One thing.
How's the stand-up routine coming, JT? Because
my stand-up routine's coming along. It's going to be really, really funny.
Yeah.
It's going to be so fun.
Obviously.
You guys are going to just fall out of your chairs. But this is Oops All Berries, not Oops All Crunch Berries. So apparently they put too many berries in here. And it's an accident. So they said, oops. But let's open it up, and then we'll talk about the beer a little bit. 3, 2, 1.
I mean, if there's any more stand-up routines you want to go through, I'd love to hear about it.
I don't want to do any of my stand-up. I have to rewrite it.
No, other people stand up.
Oh, other people stand up? I don't want to do that either. It's been a while since I've been into stand-up, but I remember liking Mitch Hedberg a lot. He's funny.
Excellent. That's the only insight that you can get here on the BCP. It was brought up that we should do another drink along, by the way. If we can intermingle business with pleasure.
Yeah, we totally can. What's the business?
That we should do another drink along.
Okay, what's the pleasure? That was fun.
Pleasure is doing the second segment of beer drinking.
Oh, okay.
Business and pleasure.
Business and pleasure. All right, we'll do another drink along soon. No problem at all.
Is my palate wrecked right now?
Yeah, mine is too. Ellicottville Brewing. It's out in New York. We've covered them before. I don't really know. I don't remember anything about them other than they're a brewery out of New York. This beer is a tart and juicy kettle sour reminiscent of a wild berry patch, brewed with fresh fruit from local farmers. I don't know how many fruit farms there are in New York.
Lots.
There are?
Oh, yeah.
It's a big deal out there.
Yeah, it's great climate for it, too. But not your citrus bears like grapefruit or anything
like your
that.
Florida stuff.
But like your apples and more of like your deciduous fruits.
Okay, so it's like a berry thing.
Yeah, cranberries are huge in like Wisconsin and Massachusetts, excuse me.
Yeah.
So there are hardier fruits, and these are definitely a hardier fruit. Like you don't get a lot of strawberry, like peaches. Georgia. Like when the peach truck comes to Ohio,
God, people love the fucking peach truck.
They'll fucking leave work to go pick up.
They'll go get peaches for hundreds of dollars. I don't get it.
Yeah,
fucking peaches.
Peaches. If your fruit is hairy, I don't want it. That's just
a rule for both people and fruit.
That's just life advice. I don't know if I should have a palate cleanser.
Yeah, I guess I never really thought about the geography of where fruit grows.
Yeah.
Other than oranges.
Yeah, you don't get oranges in New York or
I guess
Ohio.
Not. I guess not. You're right. There's a really nice orange grove in California that I drove through. It was awesome. Just wanted to tell you that.
Excellent.
I can't remember where it was. I mean, I tell you.
But it was. It's awesome. Keep that to yourself.
It was awesome. So if you find it, let me know.
keep that to yourself.
In Florida, there's a lot of oranges, obviously. But this isn't about oranges. This is about berries. And I don't actually really know where berries are grown. We have a blueberry plant in our backyard because my wife wanted one.
So Ohio, they grow in.
Oh, because it's in my backyard.
But like you get like gooseberries, all the berries are northern states.
Okay.
I postulate.
I'd never thought about it.
I mean, when's the last time you had a great strawberry from Florida?
I have no idea. I don't look where my strawberries are from.
It's a big deal. By the way, happy birthday, big deal.
Yeah, happy birthday. I know that IHOP has a strawberry syrup that's really good.
The IHOP just closed near here in the last 6
It's
years.
not a place I've been to in years, but when I did go,
I'm a traditionalist when it comes
I
to
enjoyed strawberry syrup.
I am not getting all of the berries.
I'm not either.
I'm getting the hallmark. This is definitely, like you said, a kettle sour.
Yeah.
I'm not able to differentiate between non-kettle sours. Yeah, even if I sit here and try to come up with differentiations between them. I wish I got super excited on this beer. I think I think it's a better beer. We should have had a palate cleanser, like a shot of vodka or something like that. Between
shot of vodka.
But hey, there's some right there. Go grab.
I'm good. I don't like vodka.
Okay. Well, take something else off for a palate cleanser. I wish I got excited about the berries because the berries are the sorry, Stacey, are the fruits that I like more. Mm-hmm. I just when it says "oops," all the berry you're setting me up. Like I'm elated to get. Raspberries are definitely a top 5 fruit for me. Raspberries and cranberries are up there. What's your top fruit?
Top fruit? Oh gosh, I just like so many fruits. I love bananas.
Yeah,
love bananas. I love oranges. Fresh orange, I don't think it can be beat. So orange.
God, cranberries.
Cranberries are great, but I prefer cranberry juice. Most berries, I don't like as an edible fruit. I prefer to drink it. I don't like the seeds. They get stuck in my teeth.
Interesting. So, like a fresh strawberry doesn't do it for you?
Strawberries are okay because the seeds are super small.
Yeah.
But like a blackberry or a blueberry, well, maybe not so much blueberry, but blackberry and raspberry, I don't eat them because I have this...
Cherry, by the way, is up there for me, too, since you're talking about seeds.
I have this weird thing about my teeth, and they have to be... The gaps in all my teeth have to be clean at all times. And I don't like eating seeded fruits, and they get stuck in my teeth, and it forces me to floss. And when you floss with seeds of fruits, they're so strong that they'll actually rip the floss when you try to floss them out.
Interesting. So,
do you ever have that experience?
No. I'm going to ask you floss, and there is a right answer here. Floss or floss sticks?
I use floss sticks.
All right. That is the right answer.
Is that... Oh, I'm surprised.
No, not at all.
I floss every day. A lot of people don't. Most people don't. I'd say 99% of people don't. I can't have my teeth be obstructed. The gaps of my teeth need to be unobstructed at all times. If I eat a meal and something gets stuck, I go immediately floss all my teeth.
I floss for sure 5 out of 7 days of the week, and then any other time when needed.
Yeah.
But toothpicks, when I was growing up, always on the table.
See, toothpicks don't do it for me. I need
always
floss. I need to get in there.
From a young child.
I need to get in there and clean it out.
We have some pretty cool toothpick dispensers in my family.
That's
depending
cool.
on whose
That's
house you're in. It's awesome. Even up at the cabin. So
floss your teeth. The message: floss your fucking teeth, people. Come on, it's not that hard. Get in the habit.
And if you want a cheap, life-changing device, since we're on teeth, get an electric toothbrush.
Okay, you have like a fully electric chargeable toothbrush?
Yeah, so I have a Sonicare.
I use the Oral-B battery-powered ones when it's not open. You can't open it, so when it dies, you get a new one. I like that. That's my favorite.
Interesting. Well, the Sonicare's got replaceable heads.
Yeah,
so
I have a Sonicare somewhere in the house, but I don't like it because the heads are too small.
So my gums would always bleed, and then I switched to that, and now
Dennis is like...
Love it. High five.
Yeah, you basically have calloused gums.
I get high-fived. Because I always ask them, when you go in for the cleaning, we are really off on a JT tangent, as I like to call it. JT,
it happens.
J-tangent.
I get reminded
your nickname
of things
is in my circle. They use floss, and it
Yeah,
always hurts my fingers.
Oh, yeah, I hate it.
I go...
Floss sticks are just so much easier.
Well, I'm saying at the dentist, though.
Yeah, they use the... Yeah.
I use floss sticks, and they're like, you're fine. We just... I think the ADA just gets 1 million pounds of floss a year.
They do, and I think you're one of hundreds of people they see. They're flossing your teeth, and they're probably like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Because you floss.
By the way.
But most people don't. Imagine flossing some of those people's teeth.
I am a snob when it comes to floss sticks. Dentec. That's my brand.
Oh, you're in a low tier of trash.
Crest.
We're talking Glide. I'm at the Glide level. That's the fucking that's the diamond of floss sticks.
Crest, theirs snap way too easy. They have great flavor, so if you just want to chew on them.
Fuck flavor. I want clean teeth.
Yeah, Glide, Dentec has got. I mean, you could use those for 7-8 times. They're not.
No, you use it once. Once.
I'm just saying, it's rigid.
Glide, Oral-B Glide. Best floss sticks on the planet.
I might have to go upstairs. I might have Oral-B. I just know the
I'll
pressed
bring
ones
you
are
some
trash.
Glide
Well,
floss
I've got like
sticks.
four or five.
They're the best.
4 or 5 bags.
And you squeeze them so that you know how it gets loose after a while. You could squeeze it and tighten the floss as you go back. So it like renews.
Oh wow,
the tightness of the floss.
You are a.
See, I'm a snob when it comes to floss too. Floss your fucking teeth, people.
It was purposefully that I talked about something else, teeth health, oral health. Because we care about you.
It was purposeful for you? Because I brought it up with the seeds of the fruit.
Right, because I was hoping to cleanse my palate to be able to taste this beer more.
Good.
And I can.
So when I eat a raspberry, fucking seeds, man. They get stuck in my teeth.
So I'm starting to taste more and more berries. And so I'm glad I didn't commit to a score right off the top. I just wish there were more. These are understated. These are support berries because... Like a blueberry, blueberry beers. I know Sam Adams makes one. Have to be like chemically like supported or whatever to get like a blueberry. Like blueberry is not like a strong or a pungent. That's why you always see blueberry paired with
lemons
all the time. Pomegranate. Pomegranate. There is lemon blueberry by fives. So I would put. Which is a good one for the lemonade. But again, it's a lemonade, so it's a blueberry lemonade. It's there in a support roll. Blueberries have to be supported. Raspberries don't, but you don't see them as much. Off the top rope, I think this is better than the Untitled art because now I'm starting to get more flavor, and it would be weird or it'd be interesting to have this beer juxtaposed because I think that my score might be adjusted even more. But off the top rope, I give this a 4.0.
Fair enough. I think you're right because my initial reaction to the kettle sour part of this was I think maybe it's more like viscous, it's thicker. But that might just be because we just had a seltzer beer. No, it's super thin and airy.
A spritzer
beer. Spitzer Weiss. And maybe it's just my mind playing tricks on me. I also don't know what a kettle sour is. I like to...
I know it's how it's made in the I say it tongue in cheek. It's made in a kettle, so like a big instead of like a big vertical mash tun, it's more of like a kettle.
More of like a cauldron.
like a copper kettle.
Okay. I like to think when I see words on consumable products that I can relate them to each other. Kettle corn, kettle chips. They're very sweet. They have like a thicker feel to them. They're not as
a coating.
They have a coating. This, I feel like, and it might be just, again, that we had this Spritzer Weiss. I feel like this has a thicker feel to it. But I'm going to go over the can art boner segment. I'm not even going to bring it to you. It says, oops, all berries. And it's got blueberries, probably blackberries, maybe boysenberries, and then raspberries. And that's it. That's the can art. So if you made this can art, because it looks like it was painted, or it could have been computer generated. Good job. No offense, but I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. This is 6%. It's in a pint. And it says enjoy cold, which I appreciate, but it should give a temperature. Tart and juicy kettle sour.
So sours are between 40 and 45 for like spritzers, chilled, and then like other sours are like 45 to 50.
This is probably right in there because it was in a cooler in my car. All right, so that's the can art bonus segment. The taste, I feel like it's thicker. It has it kind of has a not syrupy, but a thicker fruit flavor.
A higher viscosity.
Yeah, higher viscosity. It does have a fruity flavor, a berry flavor. But this is where I actually think the name is appropriate. You probably have so much going on here that it all blended together in a generic way.
Yeah.
So maybe Oops All Berries is the right name. You have all these berries, and I can't taste any single one of them. But it is a good beer. It's sour. It has a fruity flavor. Comparable to what? Definitely like an Ocean Spray type of juice or a Mott's type of thing.
Would you describe this beer as fresh? Like it's a fresh...
Is it fresh?
Like, I don't feel like I'm drinking something that's propped up by chemicals. Like,
well, no, I don't think that there's.
But I think it's like
I don't feel like
I'm just grabbing a handful of berries and I'm throwing them in my mouth. I can't discern the berries, but it's definitely berries. It's not like a citrus.
Yeah, definitely berries, not a citrus. I can't discern the berries. Yeah, I guess you could say it's fresh. All ale brewed with blackberry, raspberry, and blueberry. Well, it just tastes like a generic berry beer to me. But it doesn't suck. It's good. I mean, I think if you're looking for a blueberry beer, I mean, you're in a kind of niche market there. There's only a couple of those. If you're looking for a blackberry beer, blah, blah, blah.
Even less.
Same thing. If you're looking for a raspberry beer, there's plenty of them out there. But if you're looking for like a good berry sour, this is one of them. This is gonna be, in the top tier, top, who knows how many there are out there, maybe top 10. It does a good job at selling itself as a berry sour. I don't know that they want you to differentiate between the different berries. But you definitely cannot.
Yeah, no, there's no. It would take like a Cicerone or a sommelier to be
I don't think they could. And if they do, they're fucking lying. But I also want to keep looking into that.
Would you tell them if it was berries? Would you tell them it's a... I mean, obviously they would know it's a fruited beer.
Yeah. I think they're going to know certain things about this beer, but I don't think they're going to be able to, blindly pick out the three.
I think raspberry is a lingerer. Like, it stays on your palate longer. So it's nice that it's got the raspberry finish in that.
Yeah, I can see that. Interesting. The Cicerone thing. That intrigues me. Now I want to figure out what their process is.
Yeah, I keep getting emails. It's like, again, it's tough to do in this current climate with COVID.
But anyway, I haven't given my score, but I think this is a good beer. I think that it in the pantheon of sours, it doesn't. I mean, it's not going to be in the Hall of Fame, but it's very good, and I would drink this. I would be happy to receive this from a friend. I would be happy to give this to a friend. 4.25.
I'm trying to give it to you.
Oh, no.
No? You said you'd be happy.
I am happy. Thank you very much. 4.25. Oops, all berries. It's good. Oh, yeah, that's it. I mean, it's good.
It improved as
I won't remember this beer.
I will remember it because the first drink was disappointing. It improved as I went throughout the can. I think it's because it cleared the spritzer.
Sure.
I'm glad we did it the way we did because this is a way more assertive beer than a spritzer will ever be. Spritzer is light 100%. And forgettable.
Yeah,
if we did it the other way, I think that
we would never taste that.
We would never taste the spritzer because the spritzer is very light, refreshing, effervescent. Where this has a little more viscosity, a little more flavor, a little more body, character, etc. to it. But any beer is going to have more than what a spritzer is trying to accomplish.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So I've put together what I consider to be a game, but it's not really a game.
It sounds like any time you put together a segment 3, JT.
I've put together some games. Jeopardy, Beer Jeopardy. That's a game.
Yeah, in your mind it's a game. In my mind it's a struggle.
It's a struggle. Well, then I will never do it again.
No.
It's a lot of work.
You're taking it. Yes, believe me. I know. I put together a lot of games. It's a struggle through self-gripping assertiveness in trying to discern my reality from madness. And you're going to ask, what do I mean by that?
I don't know. I know exactly what you mean. I didn't ask.
You ask questions that I feel like I should know, and you ask it in such a way that if I don't know it,
you're done.
I feel like a dummy. Like, are you smarter than a JT 5th grader? And I come in and I nail like the 1 to 200 questions, and then after that it's like, you're a dumbo.
That's funny because I was so dumb in 5th grade. Like, I didn't find my intelligence until I was like in high school, maybe a little later.
Oh, that's the thing.
5th grade JT was fucking idiot.
I killed school till about 8th, 9th grade.
I did my best work late.
No.
When I was a kid, I basically wanted to play dodgeball and that's it.
Yeah,
Don't fuck with me.
I wasn't. I didn't excel at all at recess or whatever, but I excelled in my studies, and that's why I got away with a lot.
Yeah.
Because the teachers, and God bless them, and pay them whatever they want. Besides during the summer months, but that's another podcast.
Well, they make a yearly salary, right?
Well, there's different pay structures that they can pick, but the teachers saw through my talkative nature. And still allowed me to stay in class where...
Gosh, I can imagine...
Teachers now would just...
Kid Matt.
Destroy
just talking to everybody about everything.
My name was on the board so many times, but my fifth grade...
But you had A's.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Or S's, for...
Yeah, satisfactory.
Yeah. My fifth grade teacher saw through it, and he was a physical teacher, Mr. Van Houten. He just retired 2 years ago.
Mr. Van Houten, that's Milhouse's name in The Simpsons.
Is Milhouse Van Houten?
Yeah.
So my teacher's first name was Rolf, and he got into teaching later in life. The beauty of it is, and he would get fired for this. He was a physical teacher. When I was
a physical teacher,
yeah, when I was fucking up, no,
I don't know. I don't want to touch that.
He would grab me by like the pressure points, and I knew I was screwing up, but he could get away with it then.
Yeah, then.
And I knew I was screwing up.
Yeah.
And you know what? Corrected me, and I was student of the month for that entire school year.
But when you think of it now,
oh yeah,
what if someone touched your daughter on the back of the neck, like some teacher? You'd be like, "Fuck this."
I would hope that I would look back and think that, hey, I fucked up. Like he stapled my finger. Like he was.
Your teacher stapled your finger
on accident.
On accident, that's different.
Yeah, not on purpose.
As parents, we need to understand when it's an accident and not freak out.
Exactly.
But that guy grabbed your neck as a child
multiple times.
That seems crazy.
Like in the back, like that
what I'm saying, like
the pressure points. Like
I
when
just
you're
don't see it. I mean, obviously not now, but even where I went to school, I don't think a teacher would touch a kid.
Oh yeah, no. So. He walked around with a broken hockey stick, and he called it the Board of Education. We would have spelling tests.
Wow.
And he would say, spell lightning, and he'd walk around, and he would slam it down so people... Well, Elizabeth Gengenbach moved her hand, and the board came down across her hand. And it was an accident. Like, nothing ever happened. No admonishment that I knew of. I was only in 5th grade. But again, I look back so fondly, and this is... went back to one of our other beer stories where I went back and helped in his classroom when I was much older, and my dad had come visited, and
you just beat the shit out of some kids.
No. So back when they started the actual fridge packs for beer, my dad dropped a bunch of Mick Golden Lights into my Mountain Dew, so I was packing my lunch for the day to walk across the street, and I just grabbed what I thought was a Mountain Dew, and then I got to my lunch, and I'm sitting there with kids, and I'm interacting with kids, and I pull out a Mick Golden Light, and I go, oh, and I just put it back in, and then I go and buy myself a milk or whatever. But I took a beer to an elementary school. I remember that story coming up.
Wow, that's a pretty cool story, though.
That's when I was helping out. But I look back so fondly, and I just needed that.
Yeah. Some people...
And that was a realization I made in my college years, because that's when I was going back to help out.
I mean, I think some of the things that I'm okay with from when I was a child, I'm not okay with my children being treated that way. Yeah. Like, I don't want some fucking teacher touching my kids. I don't want some baseball coach yelling at my kids. Like, they're trying out there, But I got yelled at all the time.
And I think that's the whiplash in this society. So my mom... she was a mother bear for sure, and she still is. Mm-hmm. I think there's a whiplash to where the teacher was right, and all of a sudden the student's right, student is right.
Oh, I don't think my student's right.
You know your kid's a shithead. But then you're like, well, you don't dispense justice. I'll take care of it.
No. I'm okay with the teachers dispensing justice. I'm not okay with it being physical. That's not okay. That's now, but back then it was different. Yeah, you could do stuff like that.
And anyway. I don't feel like it was that that long ago, less than 30 years ago. I mean, it's just one lifetime. I was in 5th grade in 94. So again, mad respect
for
him. My my 5th grade, at my 5th grade graduation, my award was The Voice Heard Round the World.
That was your nickname?
Yes,
The
that
Voice
was.
Heard Round the World?
Another individual I went to school with was the only individual that would be talking at his own funeral.
Did that come after you guys watched Schoolhouse Rocks? The shot heard around the world?
No. And you know, another reason why I adore Mr. V, he brought technology to the classroom. The first time I ever surfed the internet was in 5th grade. Like when it was green screen, and you had to press numbers and like...
Yeah, we had a teacher like that too, but he was the opposite. He was too cool. The parents hated how lackadaisical he was.
Oh yeah, no, he was Mr. V. You didn't.
But anyway, he was our science teacher. He was cool.
We had Laserdisc.
And one time I ate a sugar cube that we were, you're doing experiments in like 7th grade. And they're like dumb experiments, like put water on a sugar cube. It's stupid. But I ate the sugar cube and he came up to me and he said, I'm going to tell you something. I keep those sugar cubes in that cabinet over there. And this school definitely has mice. So don't eat the sugar cubes. And I was like, it's too late. I already ate it.
Yeah.
That's my story. All right, so this game, not game, is more of just a fact delivery game where it's just supposed to spark conversation or maybe have you guess some things that you otherwise weren't thinking about. It's called Bruth or Beer. Truth or dare, Bruth or beer.
This might be the first thing that you've came up with just organically.
Really?
I like this, yeah.
I've come up with tons of stuff.
Well, like Jeopardy.
Well, Jeopardy's different, but there's other games.
Like
that one. All right. So I have a bunch of things here that I've listed. Some of them I'm just going to read to you and we'll talk about it or not. We'll just move on. Some of them I want you to guess something. And there's no points or anything, but I'm starting with 1,000,000 points. You're starting with 0, and you have to beat me. And so
challenge accepted.
You say Bruth or beer.
Bruth or beer.
You say which one of those two you want, and I will read you something from the category that I have. Brewery gimmicks. Okay, that's Bruth. And I have beer gimmicks. That's beer.
Why wouldn't you have done Bruth or fear for true or false?
Well, because it's a beer podcast.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, Froob or... Okay. I want to go say Bruth. Bruth is one of the funniest words I've heard in a long time.
Bruth. Okay. There's 2 answers that I'm going to give you 2 different questions. One, did I write down the brewer? I forgot who this brewer was. Shit. So the strongest beers ever made.
Oh, yes.
You know about them.
Yeah.
There's three from Brewdog.
Correct.
Can you name at least one of them and what its percentage was?
No. It was like snake venom or something like that.
Nope. That was different brewery.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, you're on the right track.
Not talking out.
You're on the right track.
But it was something like. It's like in the booze. It's like 40 to 50%.
Yeah.
ABV.
So in the brewery gimmick world, making the strongest beer was actually a competition.
Yeah, for the longest time.
With Brewdog and another European brewer. Brewdog made Tactical Nuclear Penguin.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That was 32%. And then this other brewery came out with one that was like 40%. So Brewdog came out with Sink the Bismarck, which was 41%. And you could have got points for any of these. And if you know, stop me if you want to guess any of the names.
No.
So then the other brewery came out with one that was like 45%. And then Brewdog squashed the whole thing with the end of history. A 55% beer served in. Do you remember how they sold this beer?
I'd only heard of, by what you're saying right now, is Tactical Nuclear Penguin.
Okay, well, End of History was sold in a taxidermied squirrel. So they put the bottle of beer in the squirrel. And you'd buy the whole thing.
So you'd buy the rigor mortis
They
squirrel.
technically called it a decanter, but it was a bottle with a cap. And it was...
Interesting.
It was 55%. So... second question, the second way you can get points. Can you tell me how they got the beer to be so alcoholic?
putting more liquor into it.
No. The process to get your beer up to that percentage is actually they chill the beer in an ice cream cooler, 70 below zero for 3 weeks, and then they skim off the ice crystals because the alcohol actually freezes at a lower temperature. So by skimming off the ice crystals, you're leaving only the most potent alcohol parts of the beverage.
And they just repeat that multiple times over?
I guess, until they get a stronger beer. And
wow.
So that's how it happened. All right, so Bruther beer. So that's the first one. So I still have 1 million, you have 0.
Okay, well, that's good.
Bruther beer.
Bruther. Beer. Let's try beer.
Let's try beer. Okay. Well, here's a question I want to ask that it'll be worth points, but there's no right or wrong answer. What's the most outrageous beer you've ever had? And you can interpret that question any way you want.
I love the open interpretability of this. Most outrageous.
So keep in mind that the beer portion of this deals with gimmicky beers. So the Bruth is gimmicky breweries, and the beer is gimmicky beers. So what's the most outrageous beer you've ever had?
So I'm going to go, okay, the most outrageous beer is going to be the spiciest beer I've ever had because I'm a huge spice connoisseur.
Yeah.
And I'm looking it up right now because I just want to make sure that, because there's 2 different beers and people are going to know because I saved this beer for a long time.
Okay.
Okay, so it's Stone's Crime and Punishment.
Oh, okay.
They came in bombers, and they were they look like there's a script that's signed. Are you familiar with Robert Langdon, the inverse, the Mona Lisa's crap, where it's not an anagram where you turn it upside down or whatever. So anyways, that's the bottles right there. So those are from Stone. So Crime is like a peppered beer. Punishment is...
Oh, Punishment?
Yeah, Punishment is probably... I love spicy things. It's not an enjoyable drink. They put all of the ghost peppers and everything into it. It's more of a conversation. It would have been a great beer to have on the podcast. I remember drinking it a year after I bought the house. So 2014, I bought these and I recapped it because it even at a 4 or 5 ounce pour, it wasn't an enjoyable beer. Mm-hmm. But it was a great conversation. So
this is a great segue into the question.
So that was probably the most
outrageous.
Outrageous.
Yeah,
it was definitely the spiciest.
I would agree. That's probably one of the.
I didn't finish the bottle myself, and you know me. It's not a drain pour, but I even saved it for people.
Yeah, I would. I don't. As we've established, I don't like spicy beers. What is the spiciest beer recorded?
Now, is it
again gimmick beers?
Is it? Are you asking for the name of the beer or Calvin?
Well, I would. No, I would. You can give the name of the beer or the brewery. I don't have the Calvin. I don't think.
Oh, not
that
Calvin.
You'd have the. Yeah, Scoville.
Scoville, yeah.
I don't think you'd have.
It wasn't a temperature. It wasn't the sun.
I don't think you'd have that. I don't have that.
Yeah. The spiciest beer. I
just don't have it.
I definitely.
Well, I like your answer, so I'm going to give you 5 points for.
Actually,
I'm on my way. You gave. Ghostface Killa is actually the spiciest beer.
Is it Wu-Tang inspired?
I don't know if it's inspired by Wu-Tang. It was Wu-Tang involved in conversations? I don't know, but it is by Twisted Pine Brewery, and it uses 6 different kinds of ultra hot peppers, including one of the world's spiciest, the ghost pepper. While we aren't sure if we're crazy enough to try this burning brew,
they haven't tried it.
Anyone who does should probably double fist it with a glass of milk. So I actually looked this beer up separately from this description that I found, and it actually was never made to be consumed in full.
So it's a gimmick.
So Twisted Pine made this beer, and they said it's a sip, and you're done. You should not drink this full beer. Okay. So that's that. So 5 points to 1 million. All right.
By the way, if you're a big supporter of the Wu-Tang Clan and everything that they stand for, the Barrel House in Dayton, a fantastic bar, and they do Wu-Tang Wednesdays.
Do they?
Did
they ever get that Martin Shkreli thing?
It's the solid
one
gold
disc. Yeah. Did anyone get that, or did the FBI?
I think they confiscated it because it was one of his most valuable. But it's a great bottle shop. If you're ever looking for like some rare stuff, go to the Barrel House.
We should go to the Barrel House together.
It's fantastic. It's a small, intimate setting, like great community minds. But again, I'm a big fan of the Barrel House, and it's right down in that Warped Wing DBC area.
Oh no way!
It's right there. Yeah.
Oh okay.
Like you'd have to pass by the Barrel House
or something
to go from the Warped Wing to DBC.
Oh, wow. All right, so Bruth or beer?
Bruth.
I'm
at 5 points.
You're at 5 points. You're getting there. I'm going to be dishing out the points here soon. I'm sure you're going to... Once you get one right, you're going to get
it's just going to be inertia.
All right. Rogue Brewing.
Yep. Familiar. Jim Klein. Out to Jim Klein.
Out to Jim Klein. Thanks, Jim. What was that beer?
Rogue.
I'll give you 5 points for the Bat Squatch answer. So 10 points to 1 million. Rogue throws a party annually.
Yep.
Who is that party for?
So it's based off of their hit beer, Bat Squatch. And do you know what bats drop? What it's called? When they go to the bathroom.
When they poop, it's called... what is it when owls do it? It's called... pellets.
Okay, fantastic.
But so, I'm thinking through this. When bats do it, it's called scratch. Bat scratch fever. That's why they call it that.
Yeah, it's very close. You're going with the ryming game there, Dr. Seuss. So for 10 million points, it's actually called guano.
Guano. That's what bats poop. Guano.
So 10 million points for me.
So they have a guano party every year.
No, I didn't say guano party.
Well, what's the party for?
Guano shindig.
Oh, guano shindig. I said party. They have a party. Do you want the answer?
I would love the answer. More than
every year, Rogue Brewing throws a party for dogs in honor of the brewmaster's dead dog, late dog. However respectable way. Can you guess, now that you've got that answer... So they have a party for dogs. They have dog-themed activities, and they have like treats, and they actually do have live music, which I don't think dogs really care about. But can you guess the brewmaster's late dog's name?
Atlas.
Oh God, I wish you would have thought about that longer. I wanted to give you the points. His brewer. His dog's name was Brewer. It died, and now they have this honorary. It's an honorary party, really, is what it is.
I almost wore my brewer's tank top today.
I wish you would have.
I was told that I needed to mix that up more because people are starting to analyze.
Oh, our videos and stuff?
My outfits.
Oh, shit. I think I wore the same shirt last Tuesday.
Yeah, so...
But I only have like 6 button-ups.
Really?
So I wear like... It's a rotation.
You only have 6.
Well, I mean, I have a couple more, but I don't like the way they fit, so I don't wear them. Oh, I have like 6 I like.
Interesting.
Why would I wear something I don't...
It's not about how much you
has
spend.
The worst fitting clothes ever. If you want good fitting button-ups, Gap. Gap's where it's at.
Well, I don't make Gap money, so...
Kohl's is just as expensive as Gap. Gap is basically...
False. I get Kohl's cash back. You don't get Gap money.
Oh, that's true. Kohl's cash is good for pants.
So
Kohl's
you go there,
great pants.
You go one place for pants, one place for shirts?
Absolutely.
That's weird.
Find what you like and stick with it. That's the old man...
Go to one place and get everything you need. That's the old man.
Their shirts don't fit right.
They have multiple different brands.
And none of them fit right.
It's weird.
Levi's, too short. The Van Housen, all fucked up. It's like the proportions they measured are like for some weird shaped dude.
Van Heusen stretch fit.
You have to get those tailored or they're never going to fit right. You're going to either have a huge poof in the back when you tuck your shirt in.
Tuck it in.
No, or your sides are going to be coming out like crazy.
Yeah.
The Van Heusen shirts don't fit right. You have to get them tailored. And I'm not paying for that.
Yeah. So you just go to Gap and spend...
So I go to Gap because they fit
right.
No, the Gap's not that expensive. You're thinking of like J. Crew or like Banana Republic.
That's you.
Gap is cheap. I mean, we're talking like $25-$30 a shirt.
Too much.
What do you pay?
$18
No
a
fucking
shirt
way does
with
Cole
a tie.
sell Van Heusen for $17.
Oh yeah,
Not a chance.
when you wait until they're on sale.
Yo, you wait till they're on sale.
Well, I don't need shirts, and I have way more. I mean, they fit perfect.
It seems
Look
like
at
you
that.
have a
You've got
lot of
yours-
shirts.
You got yours rolled up there.
Yeah.
Hey,
Wouldn't you?
extend your sleeves for me and go like this for me. I just want to see the fit.
They're perfect. They're perfect. Perfect fit sleeves. I bet your sleeves are all the way up here when you extend your arm.
If I get a 30,
look at that.
If
Look
I
at
get
that.
a 34, 35, that's
a great fit.
34, 35. No, I need 36.
No,
37.
look at this. It's a great fit.
It's better than what I expected.
It's because it's
better than
not
I
Van
expected.
Heusen.
I mean, I'm not going to be a lumberjack
Coleman
anytime
shit.
soon.
All right.
I'm a solid monochrome like Regis Phil.
You don't do a lot of patterns. I
No,
noticed.
tomorrow I'm wearing a pattern though.
Yeah.
Well, I do my outfits the night.
That's all right. I wear patterns every day. I don't like plain shirts. All right, Bruth or beer?
Beer.
Beer. All right. So we went over the hot beer. We went over what your most outrageous beer is. Let me think of how I can word this as a question to give you some points because I want to give you points.
I appreciate points because I have 10 million now. I awarded myself.
If you could, here's how I'm going to word this.
Okay.
If you could obtain yeast from anywhere in your house, but except the fridge or the pantry, where do you think that would be?
Oh God, this is a terrible question because this is one of my comedic things.
Oh, is it? You have a yeast comedy skit?
Yes.
Let's hear it.
Okay.
I'll give you 100,000 points to hear your yeast comedy skit.
Okay. Are you familiar with Monistat?
Monistat is a medicine, right?
For ladies. Lady parts. So they have Monistat 5, they have Monistat 7, they have Monistat 1.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't have the patience in my life that, you know what? There's Monistat 7 and there was Monistat 1. If I have yeast in my hoo-ha, I want that gone the next day. I'm not going to just wait like 7 days and I have to insert like 7 ovules into myself or whatever. I want that gone one. Why is there multiple different products based on one condition? It treats the same
yeast
condition.
infection.
Yeah. I want that gone Monistat now. Monistat 12 hours.
Monistat
Not Monistat 7. Because the number of days it takes to correct it is the number. So it's Monistat 1, 5, and 7.
Okay, so you don't want that to go 7.
Yeah, it would be like having, do you get headaches?
Yeah.
Advil 12.
Yeah, Advil
12 days will
12
cure
days.
this shit.
All right. Not the funniest joke I've ever heard, but you told it, so you get 100,000 points. So you have 100,010 to a million.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Exactly, it doesn't make any sense.
It's the same. Yeah, it's the same reason. I don't.
For
even
years
know. Like,
I've had that. Years.
There's different painkillers, and you're like, well, I just want the pain gone. I don't know.
I mean, you want it gone immediately. You don't want it gone in 7 days.
I don't want it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's not like wounds. It's not like your Logan.
That's a great point.
It's not like you're fucking Wolverine and you're gonna just like.
That'd be awesome.
You know, like Neosporin. We understand that it takes like 5 days for it to work.
Yeah.
Because it takes you a while to heal.
Yeah.
But like if I want like the bread making fucking enzymes gone from my goddamn
bread making
vagina.
enzymes, yeah.
Yeah, because it's yeast. That's
right,
what your question
yeast.
is.
My question is, so where would you find the most yeast in your house?
So I'm gonna
And
totally
it doesn't have to be your house.
There.
It can be a generic house, so you don't incriminate
So I just
anyone.
kick into my neighbor's.
Yeah, you kick in your neighbor's house. Where's the yeast? Other than the pantry or refrigerator?
The cupboard.
Or the cupboard. Like kitchen storage.
Okay.
What's the most likely place you're gonna find yeast?
The refrigerator.
You were on point. You were on point.
I'm not gonna say that.
I'm not saying that you're saying it. I'm saying it, where would you think the most common place to find yeast would be?
People's bodies.
No. So
what do you mean that I'm on it?
So I don't know a lot about this individual, but Odious Ale by 40 Foot Brewing. 40 Foot Brewing. I don't know where they're out of. But they make a beer that they scrape the yeast. This sounds gross, and it is. That's why I have it as a question. The writing chair of Roald Dahl. Do you know Roald Dahl?
Yeah.
What is that person?
James
write?
and the Giant Peach, the Iron
okay.
Giant.
So
he's an author.
Okay.
So
yeah, I figured it was an author.
ROALDTAHL. He's actually Dutch, which goes back to Mr. Van Houten.
Mr. Van Houten, Milhouse is dead.
He's
The writing chair of one of the Stranger Places brewers get a swab of stuff. 40-Foot Brewing uses yeast from the author's chair to make their odious ale. Fun fact, the chair was custom made to help Dahl write after suffering a back injury in World War II.
Yep. James and the Giant Peach.
So if you would like to taste Roald Dahl's yeast, try Odious Ales by 40-Foot Brewing.
Excellent.
That's the essence of Bruth or beer. And you've gained 100,000 points by telling that joke. So, Bruth or beer?
Let's finish up with Bruth.
We're finishing up. Finish up with Bruth. Let me find the best one then.
You have more of these.
Oh, I have a whole thing of them.
Holy buckets.
I did my research. All right. I like this one. How do I make it a question? That's the question.
He scrolled through like a document that looks like
here
47 pages.
It's very long.
So it's just
it's research.
Words.
It's all research. I just haven't thought of how to word these as questions. All right. In January of 2020, before any of this nonsense happened, back in January of 2020, we were like, what is going to happen with these Australian wildfires? Remember that? We were really worried about the Australian. Do we even know if the Australian wildfires are out?
They actually are.
You know that?
Yeah, there's a couple of
much shit's happened since then.
Neat things that other animals would adopt other animals and let them into their burrows.
Oh, I think we talked about that.
Yeah, there was a lot of animal preservation going on by other animals.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Thanks, koalas.
Do you know why it was happening during January?
Why it was happening in January? Well, that's the summer in the southern hemisphere.
Exactly.
Facts. I mean, you got two geographers here. You're gonna get fucking facts like that. In January, though. In Liverpool, a brewery.
Yep.
By the name of Team Toxic.
Toxic.
They created a beer that was very controversial in Ireland. Could you guess at what that beer was?
The IRA.
No, that would be pretty controversial in
in
some of Ireland.
It got to go far.
Maybe not in Belfast, but no. I'll give you another guess for I was gonna give you 3 million points. I'll give you a guess for 1.5 million.
So they did it to Liverpool.
It was in Liverpool, but it was offensive or at least controversial to the Irish.
The fuck of the Irish. Said the luck of the
What
Irish.
kind of beer would that be?
Did they do like an Irish or a red ale and they jacked it up?
You're getting so close. You're getting so close. They did.
Instead of like an Irish ale, they called it a British ale or something like that?
No, not quite. Okay. They actually did what's called a reverse Guinness.
Oh, wow.
And it's a white beer with a black head.
Interesting.
Instead of the black beer with the white head. And apparently it's been so popular in England that they're sold out. But the Irish are super pissed about it. They say it is a affront to Guinness. And Team Toxic said that they've made 2,100 whatever, like the big
liters,
maybe barrels, I think.
Barrels
of it, and they're sold out completely. So they're going to go for round 2, but the black head is a gimmick that they said they admitted was a gimmick, and I think you can only get the black head in a bar. So they dye it without you knowing. But I don't know what the beer is.
I've spent time in Ireland in the last.
Have you? Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know. So I'm the only one who hasn't. Shit.
So when we fly back, and so we overnight there, and you will walk and see graffiti that will say like, fuck the crown, like.
Yeah. They're still bitter. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of people because.
But I mean, a lot of people died, right?
Yeah. There's a difference between England. There's a difference between England and the UK, and there's a difference between England and Great Britain. And that's a rabbit hole for a lot of people to go through and decipher, like all of that. But there's a huge... So Brexit was like an ongoing, or is an ongoing thing. But yeah, there's a lot of animosity. And I don't want to, when Cobra goes over and lauds the praises of the BCP, I don't want to put a target on his back. But my allegiance is with my Irish brethren over there. St. Paddy's Day born, so it's...
That's true. So I took a class, a political geography class, and I suggest everyone takes this class. It was absolutely magnificent, where they discussed the Troubles. And I thought it was just one of the best classes I took in all of college. But yeah, they talked about Belfast and the hunger strikes and all those hunger strikes actually are quite famous.
Yeah,
it's a tactic used by a lot of people now. But anyway, that has nothing to do with this Guinness. The Guinness in Liverpool, this is a reverse Guinness. It's just made as a joke. They had not acknowledged it was a joke, but apparently it's so chocolatey. It's a stout as well, but it's white. It's like white, like paper, and the head is black like a Guinness, like the color of a Guinness. It's insane to see. You should Google it.
It's like a Holstein beer.
Holstein, never heard of it.
Holstein is like where most of the milk in the United States comes from a Holstein cow, so black and white cow.
Yeah, black and white. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So a Holstein cow.
Holstein beer. Cow. Yeah.
Because I went to describe a Guinness. It's more of like a tan head, but you're saying paper white. So
it's pretty white. At least the picture I saw.
Yeah. Well, that's important.
Maybe it's tan. Who knows? Well, some people know. That's it though.
Boom.
So I win 1 million to 10. You almost beat me.
Yeah.
No, you had 100,000. So
it was close.
1 million to 100,000.
So this is really putting a bow on. We're talking about number counting earlier. So in the French, it would be 200,000, 100,000, and 20.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to say any of these other facts I had, or should we just save them?
You can do whatever you would like. This is you're ingratiated and welcome to do whatever you would like.
I guess I'll save them. Well, I like
excellent.
This. I like this big ass money. I like this big ass money beer. I really wanted to use this, but I never did. Perhaps the gimmickiest beer collaboration of all time was Evil Twin and popular Norwegian brewery Lervig. Do you know this one?
Yep.
Lervig. How do you say it?
I'd have to say
Attic Burgery?
Yeah, you nailed it. My great grandma Nelson is just rolling in her grave right now.
Ectibridgeri.
It's Bruger, so like WEJ.
No, here. There's Lervig and whatever the other word is.
Lervig Akabajeri.
That's what I said.
No, not even close. You gotta say it with confidence.
Ectibridgeri.
In my great grandma's house, we did not get cookies unless we could say it in Norwegian that we wanted one. That's
how do you say it?
My great grandma passed away in '94.
So you won't say it anymore?
It's been 26 years.
Just guess. Take a stab at it.
No,
just try for old time's sake.
The common
cookie.
No. Cookies like that shoot.
Oh, good. Thank you. I believe it. But this brewery had taken inspiration from college needs and a beer with frozen Hawaiian pizza and money. They use real Norwegian banknotes. Even though you'd think this whole pizza money combo would create its own special version of grossness, the final product boasts rich coffee notes and a high 20% alcohol by volume. I don't see where coffee comes from pineapple pizza and money. Sounds like a lie to me. But I was excited to share that beer with you. So I win 1 million to 100,010, and I will collect my winnings here shortly. That's it.
Excellent. You get to remain alive today. So that
fantastic. Well, for now,
you don't get killed.
But that's just by the hands of Matt. There's still many things that could kill me in this 2020 world we live in. So hopefully I will survive on the way home.
Crazy to think about that.
It is. But I wear a mask. So should you. Who gives a shit if you don't like it? Not political. Just wear the fucking thing. You know? Baseball players wear them. So baseball's coming. But we don't have to talk anymore. We done? See ya. Episode 95. Next week, episode 96. The week after that, 7, then 8, then 9, then 100.
Yep, you covered them all.
Covered them all. 100's going to be huge. Bye, guys. Thanks for joining us.